Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. If you're passionate about staying informed on South African business news, economic trends, and the real challenges facing our local industries, then you're definitely in the right place. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment sharing your views. Your voice matters and we'd love to hear what you think. Today, we are unpacking a major issue that's starting to affect thousands of businesses across South Africa, and if not handled carefully, it could impact the entire economy. Companies with over 50 employees are now facing a perfect storm: new government regulations, rising operational costs, economic instability, and intense competition, both locally and internationally. First up, let's talk about the new labor laws. Recently introduced changes aim to improve worker rights and protections, which, in principle, is a very good thing. Every employee deserves fair treatment, decent wages, and safe working conditions. But these reforms come with significant side effects for businesses. Companies must now comply with a heavier load of administrative requirements, more detailed reporting, and stricter inspections from labor authorities. For larger corporations, these changes are manageable. They have the legal teams, HR departments, and financial muscle to adapt. But for small to medium-sized enterprises, often operating with very slim margins, the cost of compliance could be devastating. More paperwork, more audits, more training programs, and more legal risks mean more money spent on non-productive activities, draining resources that could otherwise be used to create jobs, grow the business, or innovate. And just when businesses were trying to adjust to these labor changes, the Economic Recovery and Reconstruction Plan has introduced even more layers of reform. This plan is supposed to set South Africa on a path to long-term growth, but in the short term, it demands big investments from businesses. Employers must provide expanded employee benefits, comply with stricter health and safety regulations, and meet new standards for wage adjustments, all at a time when the economy is barely growing. This brings us to the wider economic environment. Inflation in South Africa continues to rise, making basic goods and services more expensive. Fuel prices, food costs, and electricity tariffs are all heading upwards. Businesses are being squeezed from all sides, suppliers charge more, customers have less money to spend, and wages are going up. That's a toxic combination, and it leaves very little breathing room. Exchange rate fluctuations are another headache. The rand has been extremely volatile, reacting to political uncertainty, international events, and local economic data. For businesses that import goods or raw materials, this unpredictability is a nightmare. Budgeting becomes almost impossible when you don't know if the rand will strengthen or weaken by 10% over a few weeks. Operational costs are spiraling out of control. Everything from transportation and fuel to rent, utilities, and insurance premiums has seen a significant rise. Businesses are being forced to make tough choices, delay expansion plans, reduce marketing budgets, freeze hiring, or even lay off workers. And when workers are retrenched, morale drops, productivity falls, and companies struggle even more. On top of all these financial and regulatory pressures, South Africa's persistent energy crisis continues to sabotage growth. Load shedding has become an almost daily reality, disrupting operations, delaying production, and frustrating customers. Many businesses have had no choice but to invest in costly backup power solutions, installing solar panels, buying generators, and setting up battery systems. But not every company can afford these investments, especially SMEs that are already battling rising costs. The true cost of the energy crisis is not just the money spent on diesel or solar panels. It's the opportunity cost, the lost hours of production, the missed deadlines, the angry customers who take their business elsewhere. The energy crisis eats into profitability, undermines investor confidence, and weakens the economy's ability to recover. And just when you think it couldn't get any worse, South African businesses now face stiffer competition from international players. Global companies, with their stronger financial bases and better access to capital, are increasingly entering our markets. They can afford to weather regulatory changes and energy disruptions better than local businesses can. They can absorb short-term losses while they wait for conditions to improve. The result? Smaller South African businesses are finding it harder and harder to compete. Some are forced to merge with bigger companies, some close their doors altogether, and others operate under constant financial stress. Market consolidation is becoming a real risk, and if local SMEs disappear, the South African economy loses not just jobs, but innovation, diversity, and economic resilience. It's a vicious cycle. Higher costs and tougher regulations force businesses to shrink. Smaller businesses disappearing reduces competition. Less competition leads to higher prices. Higher prices fuel inflation. And round we go. Yet, despite all of this, South African businesses have shown incredible resilience over the years. Many are finding ways to adapt and innovate. We are seeing a rise in digital transformation, as companies move operations online, automate manual processes, and embrace remote working. Others are diversifying their product offerings, seeking new markets, or forming strategic partnerships to share costs and expertise. The way forward won't be easy. Businesses must rethink traditional models and be prepared to pivot quickly. Cost control, innovation, and agility are no longer nice-to-haves, they're essential for survival. Investing in employee upskilling, adopting smart technologies, and building more resilient supply chains will be critical. Government, too, has a massive role to play. While worker rights must be protected, support measures for businesses, particularly SMEs, are urgently needed. Access to affordable finance, tax breaks for green energy investments, streamlined regulations for compliance, these are the kinds of initiatives that could make a real difference. If South Africa wants to build a stronger, more inclusive economy, it must find a way to balance the needs of workers with the realities of running a business. It's a delicate dance, but getting it right will mean more jobs, more innovation, and a more prosperous future for everyone. So, what do you think? Are South African businesses being squeezed too hard? Or is this the price we must pay for building a fairer economy? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. We genuinely want to hear what you think. Remember to like this video if you found it informative, subscribe to the channel for more in-depth South African business news, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, stay strong, stay smart, and as always, stay informed. See you next time.